Then the next one after Santosha is tapas. Tapas literally means burning. It means burning out the dross. So Swamiji often gave the example of what makes the difference between 14 karat gold and 22 karat gold is you burn out the dross. It means you burn out the impurities, and that raises the character of the gold. So when pain comes to us, pain is help for purification, and that's what tapas means. It means we don't invoke pain, we don't cause pain, we don't inflict pain, but when pain comes, we welcome it as help for purification. That's what tapas means. So rather than get a painkiller, which we do in the West, you have a headache, migraine, get something to kill the pain. In the yoga approach, we do not have painkillers. Instead, we view pain as a messenger. The pain is trying to tell you something is off course, make a course correction. So the idea is not to kill the pain, but to listen to and heed the message that the pain is offering you. And that's what tapas means, using pain as help for purification. And again, I want to repeat, it's not like, oh, I want them to have some tapas, so let me cause them some pain. No, it's not anything you cause or you inflict or you invoke. It's when it comes on its own volition, you welcome it as a messenger to help you make a course correction to get to your higher level of well-being. That's tapas. Then the next one is swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means spiritual study. So what we're doing right now, Yoga Sutras is spiritual study. But it's not limited to Yoga Sutras. It could be the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, nature. It could be some people, their 12-step program is their spiritual study. They're learning about higher power and so on and so forth. So as Swamiji said, paths are many, truth is one. Spiritual study can be taking care of your children. Spiritual study can be working in your garden and you're studying and learning how the way of nature works. It's not limited to Yoga Sutras. It's honored in all the ways. Swamiji often said, the entire universe is the university. Draw silent lessons from all around you. Okay. Then after Swadhyaya comes Ishvara Pranidhana, which means self-surrender to the Lord, meaning not my will but thy will be done. If some people don't like the word Lord, you could say surrender to your own inner peace, surrender to your highest self, surrender to love, surrender to purity. In other words, let's not get hung up in the words. Self-surrender to your highest self, whatever you perceive that to be. And so those are the niyamas. So we have the 5 restraints, the 5 observances. Together they make the 10, ethical perfection. Now why do the 8 limbs begin with the yamas and niyamas, ethical perfection? This is a key important point. You gave the example of the atom bomb. It took a yogi, meaning one-pointed concentration, to discover the latent power in the atom. But because the ethical perfection was not established, they used that knowledge to create a bomb rather than to create food, shelter, clothing, beneficial energy for the entire universe. That's why the Yoga Sutras begins with the yamas and niyamas, because ethical perfection has to be first. Because all the other 6 branches are going to bring you these spiritual powers. And so because of the law of karma, what goes around comes around, you want to make sure that you have your ethical perfection established as your foundation. So when these spiritual powers or siddhis present themselves to you, you're going to use them in a benevolent way rather than to create a bomb. Because we all know what goes around comes around. So those people who created bombs, devastation, pain, and suffering is going to come to them. But Swamiji said, karma is not a punishment. It is for your benefit and your education. Because when you feel it, you'll go, oh, that's what a bomb feels like. I don't think I want to do that anymore. So you speak harshly of someone, and then someone speaks harshly of you, and then you see how much that hurts. You think, oh, now that I know how it hurts, I don't think I want to do that anymore. And so the reason karma comes as a teacher is so we can have the first-hand experience of why to conduct ourselves in a certain way. Because as I said, it's the science of feeling good, it's the science of peace. So when we observe these things, it's not because we want to be a goody-goody, it's we observe these things because that's what's going to make us feel blissful. And that's why all these yogis like Swami Satchidananda, Master Shivananda, Yogananda, Kriyananda, etc., why are all their names end in bliss? Ananda means bliss. It's because this is the path of bliss. Okay, so that's why the yamas and yamas are the foundation of the 8 limbs. The third one is asana, which we did today, the physical postures. The physical postures are there to strengthen the health of the physical body. Swamiji often said, without a healthy body, you can't achieve anything spiritual or material without a healthy body. Because without a healthy body, you're going to be thinking, oh my back, oh my knee, oh my ankle. You're not going to be able to meditate. You're just going to be distracted by it. And that's why yoga, hatha yoga was originally designed, was to prepare the body temple for meditation. So you could sit still without interruption or distraction from your body to glide into the higher centers of conscious and awareness. So yoga works on the health of the internal organs, the nerves, the glands, muscle tone, flexibility. It works on mental clarity, inner peace. It's such a wonderful system for bringing mind, body, spirit into alignment and into bliss. Okay, so then we have our ethical perfection, we have our body temple in good order, then the next one is pranayama. Prana means the vital life force energy, ayama means control of. So it's how we're learning to control the vital life force energy within through the vehicle of the breath. The next one is pratyahara, which is withdrawal of the senses. So in order to realize the true self, we have to draw our attention inward. So Swamiji gave the wonderful story to illustrate this point, which will make it so easy to understand pratyahara. And I loved the way he taught us with stories, just like when you teach children with stories. It's such an easy way to learn and understand these ancient truths. So he told us the story of how God was having a conference with all his angels, and they were thinking about creating the creation. Why? Because, as Swamiji said, God, it was only God, nothing but God, and God was getting bored. There was not even anyone to play solitaire with. He had to create some creation for the sake of fun. And that's why they call life the divine Leela, the divine play, because the original purpose was to play. And so then they thought, okay, we're going to have this play, but like with every game, there is an object to the game. Like, for example, if you play basketball, the object is to get the ball in the basket. If you play soccer, the goal is to get the ball over the line or whatever it is. I don't play soccer, but I have played basketball. Or tennis or badminton. Whatever game you're playing, chess, there's an object to the game. So this is what they decided to do. They decided to create the game, the Divine Leela, and that the object of the game was going to be to remember who you truly are. So then they thought, well, like any game, there has to be some obstacles. So if it's going to be too easy, then it's not going to be any fun. There has to be some challenge, and that's why life is an obstacle course. So then we got the senses, the eyes to take you outward, okay, because you want to see all the beautiful sights. The ears, you want to go to all the great concerts. Okay, the nose, you want to smell the beautiful gardenias that grow here at Spirit of Aloha. Okay, the skin, you want to have the wonderful massage therapy treatments from these amazing practitioners here. You want to have loving touch, you want to have ecstatic lovemaking, you want to have all that wonderful touch and holding and cuddling, etc. And then the taste, you know, we want to have all the yummy raw vegan foods that we had for our lunch today. And so the reason that all these senses were created was to take us outward. So what they decided to do was to make the purpose of life to discover who you truly are. To give us all these senses to pull us outward, and then they were going to hide the treasure and we were going to have to find it somewhere. So God asked his team of angels, where should we hide the treasure of the knowledge of their true self? that they are God and nothing but God, because God was making it all out of itself. So one angel said, okay, I have an idea. Let's bury the treasure deep under the ocean. They cannot breathe. They cannot go down there deep. So that will be very challenging for them to find it. And another angel said, oh no, they're going to be having submarines in a few years, so that will be too easy for them to find it. They're going to have diving equipment and breathing and oxygen tanks and everything. That will be too easy. This game has to be fun. It has to be a little challenging. So then another angel said, okay, I have an idea. Let's put it on one of the galaxies far out into the sky. They cannot fly like the birds, so it will be very hard for them to find it. Another angel said, oh no, they're going to be having rockets and going to the moon in a few millenniums, so that'll be too easy for them to find it. Okay, that's not a good idea. So then another angel said, well, I have an idea. Let's dig it deep, deep, deep down into the earth and cover it up with all the soil. It'll be so hard for them to find it down there. And then another angel said, oh no, in a few millenniums, they're going to be having backhoes and bulldozers and everything. They're going to be able to dig it up and find it too easily. So they were throwing out all these ideas where we're going to hide the treasure. And then one very astute angel said, I have a great idea. Let's give them all these senses to take their attention outward and then hide it inside of them, and they'll never find it there. That will make it really challenging game. So that's what they did. And that's what pratyahara means. It means to withdraw the senses inward so that we can find the treasure within. And as it says in the Bible, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven within, and everything else is added. And so that was the game. Put it inside of them, give them the senses to take them outward, and that's why one of the 8 limbs to rediscover the truth of who we are is to draw the awareness inward. And that's why we meditate. We close the eyes, we close the ears, we bring our attention inward, we make the body still so that we can access that ever-present peace within. Okay, that's pratyahara. The next one is dharana. Dharana means concentration on one point. That's why we use a mantra. When we read a mantra, for example, Om Shanti, the idea is to focus your mind on one point. Or whether that one point is the breath, or the Nada Brahma, the sound current, or whatever it is you're choosing as your object of concentration. Well, why that is so important is because when any of you were little, did you ever have a leaf with a magnifying glass and you focus the sun rays through the magnifying glass and it burned a hole in the leaf? That's what we're doing with dharana. We're focusing our mental attention on one point so we can penetrate through the illusion of separateness and we can experience the peace of our oneness. That's dharana, concentration on one point. Then when that concentration on one point is fixed, that glides into dhyana, which is meditation, which is the steady flow of concentration on one point. And then meditation culminates in samadhi, which means union with the divine. Union with our own divine, peaceful, blissful, loving cosmos.